The first is a land acknowledgement, just to remind us and me that we are sitting in a great community that is great because of the cultures and traditions and peoples and languages that were here long before us, and that we have a responsibility to be stewarding the land as those cultures did, because we're handing it off to other cultures and other peoples in the future, and that's our responsibility to be remembering our part in that timeline, and we need to remember that truth has to come before reconciliation. The second is more of a, second acknowledgement is more of a kind of a statement, really, and it's that I was born white, male, middle class, in southern Ontario in the 1970s. Combine that with the fact that I'm happily married to my beautiful wife, Melanie, and I check just about every box of privilege there is. Which means my journey up here into this room tonight, into this microphone, may be radically different than many of yours. And that bothers me a bit, and I want you to know that I'm doing my best to be an ally, to empower voices, help others sing their songs, and I want to truly be a part of some of those bigger conversations. So with that grounding, and it really does relate, I'm going to start telling you a story about 4 simple words. And our 4 simple words story starts in Smith Falls, Ontario, back in 1903. Smith Falls? Right on. So back in 1903, Mary Elsie is born to Ida and Charles McBride. Now, Mary Elsie, also known primarily as Elsie, was the first daughter to Ida and Charles, and they led first of 4 daughters, sorry, and they led a very comfortable life because Charles was the town's only dentist, which meant they had some money and they had some stature in the community. And right out of the gate, it was clear that Elsie was a force to be reckoned with because she did really, really well at school. And by the age of 14, was teaching the entire Sunday school at her church. By the age of 16, Elsie's teaching tennis and getting paid for it. Back in the day, that was a big deal. Just before she turns 18, Elsie jumps on a train in Smith Falls, Ontario, and goes all the way to Toronto, to U of T, and goes to Teachers College. Elsie's 17 in downtown Toronto going to school. Elsie was fearless. She's fabulous. Things go really well for Elsie at Teachers College, and she ends up coming back to Smith Falls and starts her teaching career and is running the schoolhouse with, a gaggle of children. Step over here, of course, and we talk about Clifford. So Clifford's just come back from back to Smith Falls as well, but Clifford was in Chicago at the university getting his PhD in economics. So both Clifford and Elsie were pretty smart people. And as you can probably figure out and see where the story is going, Clifford and Elsie kind of connect. Clifford and Elsie kind of fall in love. And Clifford and Elsie get married. And together, Clifford and Elsie move to the beautiful town of Kingston, Ontario, just south of Smith Falls, and that's where they start their lives together. And they have a life and a marriage that has truly inspired me. And that's a whole other talk, but we'll come back to that one. They were involved in their community. They were community leaders. Elsie was heavily engaged and a leader at the YWCA. They both were involved in their church at Chalmers United. And Clifford actually stood as a counselor and mayor of Kingston for 12 years. So as it happens, Clifford and Elsie had some kids. They had 3 kids. And as it happens, those kids had kids, grandkids to Clifford and Elsie, and I am grandchild number 4 to Clifford and Elsie. So tonight I'm talking about my grandmother, and I'm really proud to do that because I loved my grandmother. She was smart, she was funny, she was engaging. She let me drive when I was 14. She was a bit of a badass, I'm going to be honest with you. She was brilliant. And I loved spending time with Elsie so much that growing up, I spent most of my summers in Kingston with my grandparents, first with Clifford and Elsie, and then just Elsie. And Elsie and I would have these amazing conversations. She opened up my world to literature and books. She taught me how to play solitaire. It was an odd thing to do for a child, I guess. And we watched old movies on TV all the time. I just learned so much from Elsie. We'd have these amazing conversations. And I don't know which visit, to be honest with you, and I don't know which conversation, but Elsie, during one of these conversations back in the day, does a mic drop with 4 simple words. And it was like, oh, that's really interesting. And I heard them at the time, but what I didn't fully appreciate was the impact they were going to have on my life. Because these 4 simple words have, in fact, chased me through my entire life. And I saw these 4 simple words in action with my mom, who every day modeled for me what these 4 simple words look like. Through the good times and the bad times, and to be honest with you, there were a lot of bad times, Kath never lost sight of what these 4 words are. These same 4 words really helped me kind of push through my teen years and then try to figure out what kind of man I wanted to be. What role did I want to play in the world? How did I want to lead? What was my place in life? These 4 words helped me with that. These same 4 words have pushed and molded and challenged my faith because I've kept pushing them away, and guess what? They keep coming back, and I push them away again, and they keep coming back, and I push them away, and they keep coming back. These 4 words are ingrained in my life to the point now where I wake up in the morning with these 4 words and a thank you. And they've had profound impact on my life. And tonight, I want to share these words with you, hoping that maybe they might have some impact and influence on yours. So you ready? It's not about me. It's not about me. On the count of 3, we're going to do it together. 1, 2, 3. It's not about me. Let me offer, you haven't said anything that freeing today, this week, this month, this year. 4 simple words that for me have fundamentally changed my life, have opened my mind and my heart to things I never thought would be possible because it's not about me. And quickly, I just want to share some examples on why I think that's true. It's not about me. Number 1, it will simplify your life. It's not about me, will simplify your life. The guy that cut you off on the way down here tonight, the email you got from your boss that you're wondering, what the hell did I do to piss her off? That coffee order that didn't come quite in the way you thought it would, that's not about me. That's about someone heading into work worried about being reprimanded yet again for being late. That's about a mom who's got a child home sick and is far too concerned about that to worry about your silly email. It's about someone whose life is probably pretty hard and they're doing the best they can do on any given day. It's not about me. When I let go of those things and I don't give them the energy and time that they so want to suck away from me, suddenly my life is simplified. It's not about me. It'll simplify your life. Simplify your mind. Number 2. Anyone have any idea? It will amplify your success. When I give to others, when I encourage others, when I share the love and I get love back and I get encouragement back and I get support back, what I'm getting back is 1,000 times more powerful than what I've given out. When it's not about me, I'm able to help others, and in turn, I'm helping myself. And there's the magic to this. Finally, it's not about me allows me to clear my mind. Number 3, it allows me to clear my mind. Because when I'm thinking about others and I'm focused on their needs and trying to help them, guess what can't happen? That tiny little voice that says, oh, I don't think you're good enough for this. Or that tiny little voice that says, should you really be doing that? Is anyone going to come out to your silly little talk? It's not about me pushes that voice away because there's no room for it. And let me tell you, that is incredibly freeing. March 8th is International Women's Day, as many of you know. It also happens to be my birthday, my 50th birthday. So my gift to myself this year is indeed starting to have these conversations around Elsie's 4 simple words and really think about what this idea of servant leadership can be. Because I know servant leadership is good for me. It is making my life better, and I'm convinced it can be helping others as well. So my ask of you tonight is that you join me at foursimplewords.ca on March 8th, where together we can learn a little bit about this idea of servant leadership and Elsie's concept of it not being about me. And together maybe we can have some conversations around what it takes to be a really good servant leader to be serving those around us. So tonight as you go home and you're thinking about heading back to your cars and this week, If you want to simplify your life, if you want to clear your mind, and if you want to amplify your impact, I'm going to ask that we all think of Elsie in her 4 simple words. Thank you very much.
There's been a lot of talk.